Welcome in to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the College Football Show. On today's show, we're talking about the college football playoff. We're going to give you our picks, all four of them, to make the playoff. And then we're going to talk about the national championship game picks and our pick to win the title and how crazy this year could be with only 3 Power 5 conferences actually playing. Before we do that, though, if you like the show, go ahead and click that like button, the thumbs up. It's right down there below us. You can go ahead and do that. Go visit the links in the description. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF is going to have all the content you need for the entire season. We're going to have picks, previews, talk about hypotheticals, talk about things that actually might happen, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have it all over there. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Now, Chris, you want to go first? You want to give me your 4-1?
Yeah, sure.
Right, go ahead.
My number 4 is wild card completely, Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. I've got them winning the Big 12.
Okay.
My number 3, a little bit of a homer pick, but I actually think something of this nature is going to happen. It's LSU. I don't think they win the SEC, but I think 2 SEC teams are getting in. I think they've got a shot to be one of those teams. I think they can do it. I like the fact that they're the defending champs. I think they'll get a nod over anybody else with the same record as them because of that.
Gotcha.
Texas A&M, I have them winning the SEC. And that's where the tomfoolery ends, and I have number 1 Clemson.
That makes sense.
Because I think they're going to steamroll everybody except for Notre Dame, and I think they're going to beat Notre Dame.
I can understand it. My number 4 is the Florida Gators. And it's a little weird because I don't even have them winning their division.
Yep.
But we're going to have a conversation about this here momentarily. I've got number 3, Texas. I've got number 2, Alabama. And I've got number 1, Clemson. Do we want to give out title games or do we want to have this conversation first?
I mean, let's just talk.
So I've got Florida in at the number 4 spot. And the reason that I said that, I had Georgia and Florida both going 8-2 in the regular season, with Georgia having a win over Florida. Georgia would have lost twice to Alabama. And at that point, Georgia would be 8-3 with a loss at Alabama and a loss to Alabama in the conference championship game. So then Florida at 8-2 would be sitting there. But I think that Florida would have a win over LSU. And I think that they would take Florida because Florida's last 4 games of the season are just pretty easy. I mean, they've got Tennessee in there. They've got Kentucky in there. But, I mean, we're talking about South Carolina and I think Vanderbilt or something like that. I mean, it's nothing really. But they would be on like a 4-game winning streak to close this out. Here, I've got Florida here. Yeah. After the Georgia game, it's Arkansas at Vanderbilt, Kentucky at Tennessee. So I think that their losses would be early. But I think it could get really, really screwy in the SEC. And I feel like if the Big 12, like if I've got Texas in it, but if Texas were to lose 2 ball games and win, like I think Texas might get in. I think if your Big 12 winner has 2 losses, you could even maybe see the Big 12 champion get left out.
So that was my thought. Next to Oklahoma State at 4, I actually have Notre Dame written down. Because I do think that Notre Dame is going to, if they only have 2 losses, but it's 2 losses to the number 1 team in the country, if they beat Clemson in any of those games, they're 100% in. I think they're 100% in if they win the rest of them. So if they end up 10-1, basically,
yeah,
that would have them 10-1. No matter if they beat them in the regular season game and lose to them in the championship game, or beat them in the championship game but lose them, I think they're in 100%.
Okay.
And I also think Clemson in that scenario still in 100%.
Okay.
What I think, my chaos, the way I think the SEC could go down, because I think there's a definition between the haves and the have-nots in the SEC. I think there's a clear line. I think realistically we're going to have 3 teams finish with 9-1 records. Okay. I have Florida going 9-1 in the East. I have A&M and LSU going 9-1 in the West.
Okay.
Florida's 1 loss is to LSU. LSU's 1 loss is to A&M.
Yep.
And A&M a loss.
A&M's one loss would be to Florida.
Well, sure, or
Because they play each
anybody
other.
else. I mean, it could be to Alabama. It could be anybody else. Be to a lot of people.
Well, because you said that Florida's one loss would be to LSU. And then LSU's one loss is to
then
A&M.
that has to be it because they play Florida. That's
so
right.
if they all
I
beat
wasn't
each
thinking
other,
about the schedule. I was just thinking about East and West, whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So if they beat each other, that would have Florida and A&M playing each other in the SEC title game. LSU one game out.
Okay.
My question is if A&M wins that title game or Florida wins that title game, doesn't really matter. That team is in, and I think that team is clearly in it too.
Yeah, I mean, if they're 9-1,
It's trying to figure out what do you do with the other two spots. Let's say you've got Notre Dame at 9-1. Okay, well, I guess that would be 9-2 if they lose both games to Clemson.
yeah, if they lose both games.
Let's say you've got Oklahoma State at 9-2. Okay, who won it all, or Texas at 9-2, winning it all. You have LSU at 9-1.
Who didn't make it into
played
their
a less game, and now Florida at 9-2 and lost to the number 2 team in the country. You got 2 spots. You got 4 teams. They all got a pretty damn good resume. I actually really want to see regardless of who you insert in all of these teams. Okay, if this little piggy is not Notre Dame, but all of a sudden North Carolina, it's still the same conversation.
Right.
You know, if this little piggy is Alabama, it's still the same conversation.
Well, so I will say that the media plays it up like this is going to be so much easier this year because
I don't think
nobody's getting left
is.
out, and I think it's going to be
I actually think it's going to be harder.
Mayhem.
As much as I've got 3 teams in the SEC going 9-1, it could be a realistic story where there are 5 teams that all have 7 wins.
Well, I
think that could happen.
I think it's more likely that we have. I think it's more likely that we have an SEC champion that has 2 losses.
Oh well, yeah. No.
I think it could be
I think
crazy.
that's more likely. My question is this: so let's say we have that scenario. Now I'm going to play a different game. I don't know if this is good entertainment or not. I don't know if people actually like hearing this because it's just rambling in my head. So now you've got a 1 or 2 loss ACC winner,
Okay.
loser, and you have a 1 or 2 loss Big 12 loser, and then you have a 2-loss SEC winner, and everybody else has 3 losses. All right. My question is this: has the SEC bullied everybody long enough to where you say, you ain't getting 2 teams in? We don't care. All y'all staying home. Whoever wins it, they get a spot. We don't know where we're going to put them, but we're taking, somebody from somebody else.
I mean, maybe.
If we have a 3-loss SEC champion, would they stay home?
No. I don't think that there is any way that the SEC champion stays home.
I don't either, but I know this. I use we because we are SEC guys. We've bullied people long enough to where at some point in time when the bully struggles, it's really fun to point and laugh.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's really fun to point and laugh.
It might happen.
I do think that we're going to get chaos this year. I mean, I think COVID is going to be something none of these, how these coaches are all, they like structure, they like predictability, the great coaches. The bad coaches, they live in chaos, and that's why they're bad coaches.
The good coaches like things they can control.
They ain't controlling this, man.
Yeah. I don't know. As far as numbers go, they've controlled pretty well, and they've got plans. But
You're right.
Even though you have umpteen different contingency plans, it still doesn't help if your star quarterback goes out the week before so-and-so rivalry game, right? I mean, it's going to be insane. I feel like it is going to be absolute chaos like 2007 all over again, only maybe more weird.
Your preview of picking champions, you just go chalk. And I think this is the one year to say, I'm putting it on the roulette wheel and letting it roll, man. Throw all chalk out the window.
I should have rolled Iowa State in the Big 12.
You should have. It's a lot more fun betting Iowa State than chalky. I'm telling you. Try it one time. You listen. You got to be okay with losing money. I lose all the time. You got to be all right with losing money. But when you win and you played a minus 190 bet, it doesn't mean anything.
It feels
when
like
you
stealing.
win and you hit a plus 575, oh my God. You're
Agreed.
dancing in the streets. You're taking your pants off.
What have we got for Iowa State? What was Iowa State? They were plus 1,200.
Boom.
Plus
That's
1200.
that's Texas A&M plus 1,200.
Yeah.
If I
You're
hit
right.
that, baby,
And I think Iowa State.
I am celebrating.
I think
I
Iowa
have
State's
never hit
more likely
I
to-
have made a minus 190 bet before. I bet money lines all the time. I made that bet. But
Yeah.
I could care less about that bet. You hit the plus 1,200.
Yeah, you feeling good about
That is
yourself.
dancing that night. That
That's
is a
it.
porky pigging at night.
That's like hitting parlays. That's
That's fun.
something you're not supposed to bet, but you know what? We took a shot anyway. Let's go have it.
Fun.
Now, you're right. The
But that's
minus
why I
190
do. I have a job. I don't gamble for a living. I have a job. I want to give good picks. I want to make good picks. But I also want to have a good time.
Yes.
If I'm not having fun, I'm not going to do it. I have a way to make a living that I don't have fun at.
There you go.
It sucks. All right?
You hit enough of them 1200s. Yeah, you're gonna be all right. You're
It's
gonna be
fun.
all right.
So,
All right. So title game. Look at mine's chalky.
yeah, you got Bama Clemson.
You better believe
like
it.
19.
I've got Bama plus 500 to win it.
Yeah.
So
Okay. We don't really have odds for that. You found that 5 seconds before we record it.
yeah.
I've got Clemson, and I didn't even think who. I just picked my 4. A&M's not beating LSU twice. I got
Okay.
Clemson, LSU rematch. Give my Tigers.
All right. Go.
That's
with the
probably
Tigers.
not going to happen. That's 100%.
Hold on.
bogus.
We got national championship odds somewhere. We did anyway.
I couldn't
did
find them at all. You and I sent so this has been the hardest
Oh, I
year
didn't
to
print
do
them out.
previews is because
We don't have odds.
nobody's getting odds up late or early. Everybody's getting them out so late because they don't know.
But we
the
don't even
people
have
making the
schedules
lines.
for 3 of the conferences.
So that's why I
crazy.
wasn't doing odds. I was just picking my guys. But
Well, there were odds, and you can find them over at sbrpicks.com. So go SBR. They got the odds section over there.
well,
Go check it
now
out.
they'll have access to whenever one of these sites get odds. SBR will find them.
Yes, they will have.
They'll have access to them.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just not a lot of places have them up yet.
I think that's actually where I found it. Was over at sbrpicks.com over in the odds section. But yeah, that's all right. That's going to wrap this one up. But look. Do us a favor. Go over to the site, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Do yourself a favor. They're going to have content there all year long. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel here. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up on the video, and make sure you hit that little notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever we go live. It's going to be a crazy year. We're going to be here for it the whole time. So sbrpicks.com/NCAAF has got all of your content for the rest of this season and even longer than that. But this is going to be the end of this one. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the show.